Everybody, welcome to the Broncos Zone podcast, part of the EPS family of podcasts, Elevated Pulse Sports family of podcasts, by the fans, for the fans, diehards only. I am Zach. I've got the Broncos guys on with me. I love these guys. We've got my guy Bradyn in the Bo Nix jersey tonight. Also, our Colin Coward guru, and they're forming a little connection. The backward hat's already coming out. We've got Eric, who's just the complete MVP. He is double dipping on podcasts with EPS. He's got Broncos Zone and then our Nuggets, we call it our brother podcast on Fridays. Check him out on Friday. We got Nuggets playoffs going on right now, so he's got a bunch of hot topics. And then, of course, we got Coach Cobb. The coach is here. We are missing one of our compadres tonight. Vince has unfortunately got a sick household. But that's okay. We're going to move on without him. We're going to honor him in a cool way tonight as we go through what you can see on the top of our screen. Our round one of the mock draft. It is draft week. I live for this week. I love this week. I don't feel as much excitement as normal because the Broncos don't have a first-round pick, and all of the clatter is that like this draft generally sucks. But I'm still excited. I'm still going to watch draft day. That's my ritual the night before, so that's tomorrow. We'll see what picks happen in that movie. Who knows? Maybe we have the same drama that actually happens in the NFL draft this Thursday. But Thursday's a draft. We'll see if the Broncos make a huge splash. Maybe this is what Aqib Talib is predicting. We'll see. Do we get back into the first round? Who knows? Probably not. That's a big reach. Or will we just stay put? Maybe we'll move up a little bit. Maybe we're picking early round 2 if there's a player we absolutely love. If not, we'll just have to wait to 62. So let's see. But on our episode tonight, we're doing things a little bit different where we typically do trivia and news. We're going to have some fun. We are going to be doing our Broncos Zone round 1 NFL mock draft. We're each going to be taking picks and just kind of rotate through, which I'm really excited about. We are going to pick for Vince. So I'll nominate Bradyn to pick for Vince on pick number 2, and then we'll each kind of take turns, but we'll each be taking picks. We'll give a little bit of rationale on who we're picking, why we're picking for those teams, and let's see how this really goes. We've got the full hour. It'll probably take us full hour because we're going to have a little color commentary. If you think our picks are crap or if we should have picked someone else for the gaps on these teams, throw something in the comments. Would love to see it. Or if you absolutely love the pick, please give us a big head. We're all armchair GMs right now. So we are not spending our own money, and we're not filling actual holes. So you can't blame us. You can only love us. Let's jump into it. We've got a little special surprise to kick us off, and then we'll get into round 1, pick 1.
All right, here we go.
The draft has started.
We're live.
This is where we should all be booing when Roger comes on stage. All right, our second surprise of the night. We're not going to pick number 1 because I think we all know it's Fernando Mendoza. That's pretty much set. It's done. It's over. I think all of our minds would be blown if it was not. Holy cow, the world would flip if it was Ty Simpson. That's not going to happen now. So we're on to pick number 2, the New York Jets.
All right. So Vince had Arvell Reese, edge, Ohio State University. And I got to agree, he put that the Jets are so bad that they just need players. They just need a good player. And Arvell Reese is the best edge rusher in the draft right now. And, you know, Jets need to make that move.
Yeah, I mean, Arvell Reese, I think is the clear. If the Raiders didn't need a quarterback, I think he probably would be the number one guy, to be quite honest with you. But I loved what Vince had to say. The Jets are just so bad that they've got to go with the best player, and I mean, he's not wrong, and you can't hate him for that.
Not at all. When you're a pit of misery for how long now, you just pick the best player, and you just need a bunch of really, really good players. Did the Jets have any more first-round picks?
They do.
They definitely do.
16th.
Okay, so like you gotta pick the best. I like it. All right, I am pick number 3. I have got the Arizona Cardinals. Rumors wise, it sounds like the Cardinals are really just trying to get rid of this pick. I like to cause chaos, so I am drafting Sonny Styles.
Oh,
wow.
Chaos.
That is chaos. That kind of.
My only rationale: Jerry Jones really wants Sonny Styles. He's trying to get ahead of the Giants at pick number 5. I don't like Jerry Jones, so I don't like the Cowboys, so I am ruining all of their plans. I don't even think the Cardinals could really use him. The Cardinals are also just like the Jets. Can they get out of their own way? Not really. So Sonny Styles it is. He's stud, great player, going to be great. Could be a cornerstone of their defense. To it, who I'm going with.
Well, if you look at last year with Jacoby Brissett, I know he's a backup, but the offense was not the issue last year. Outside of injuries at running back, I mean, just passing the ball. So Sonny Styles being that kind of hybrid type player, just to move around the field, I think that's actually a really good pick. Might be a little higher than where he's going, but I can't complain with that pick.
Yeah, look, I mean, when the guy you want is there, you pick him, right? That's how the draft works. When the guy you want is there, you pick him, and you don't look back. So I don't mind the pick. I will say, might have been a pick I was targeting, but it's okay.
Chaos.
Chaos. It started. There you go.
All right. 4th pick, we've got Coach Cobb picking for the Tennessee Titans. They got new jerseys, refreshed logo, brand new Nissan stadiums coming soon. My wife is from Nashville. She has one Titan shirt. That's it. I've converted her to a Broncos fan.
There you go.
She loved Derrick Henry. She still loves Derrick Henry. Coach Cobb, who are you picking with the 4th pick?
Yeah, well, I'm going, sit there and watch the Titans and the Broncos game last year. That was a big game for Cam Ward. They paraded him out there. He's the savior of the team. They're going to make him the headway. And the guy that I'm going with is Oliver Barriga, Ione from Penn State, 6'4", 336, 21 years old with a huge upside. And I'm putting somebody that's big that can protect the face of the franchise. Get that opportunity where they can. They're definitely going to need to go after running back down the road with only Pollard there, so they got to get something. They got to start getting weapons. But if you're going to keep the franchise standing upright, as I think so many teams have found out, Ione is the guy that I'm going with from Penn State. He's just a road grader, and he's going to keep their guy, keep his jersey clean. That's what I'm looking at this year.
I love it. I mean, mocks don't have him going that high, but that's who you should be picking. And
it's a tough one.
That's who you should.
Whenever you're dealing with linemen, you get the Tony Mandarich kind of guy that looked like he should have been everything. You got to swing for the fences. And again, like I said, you're always looking to protect the face of the franchise. And and Tony Mandarich. We all thought that was going to be the case, and then yeah, that turned out a little bit differently a long time ago. So
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people have Jeremiah Love going to the Titans, but here's the thing. We saw Love is a really good running back, and he's probably a franchise running back, but he's not so elite to where he's an automatic pick at that spot. But you just look at the quarterback situation and the arm talent that he has and how the O-line was just abysmal last year and the throws that had to be made.
yep.
O-line, it feels like you can't run the ball without an O-line either, and he's a really great place to start.
Right. I mean, tough situation for Cam to be stuck in, coming out against Broncos defense for his very first game. Kind of expected it, but at the same time, I think he was like, a little help here would have been really, really nice that day. And so obviously, as the season went on, I think that's a glaring thing for them to be able to get for him.
All right, let's move on. Pick number 5, Eric with the Giants.
All right.
He is picking twice in the next 5 picks here. And I may have screwed him up.
Since you might have saw me scrambling a little. Sonny Styles was my guy at 5. So I have to do a little bit of a switch. So I'm a little torn. I have kind of 2 trains of thoughts. I know that the Giants have Cam Scadaboo. He's Mr. Electric when he can be on the field, but that guy has a shelf life of probably 3 years in the NFL. I don't see him staying on the field much. So I do like, the idea of maybe having Jeremiah Love in the backfield. But I also feel like the offensive line is where they really kind of need some help. They need, those guys that they pay a lot of money to stay healthy. And that's why I think I'm just going to have to lean to the offensive tackle out of Miami, Francis Mayoga. I think he's the kind of, Jim, exactly what you just said. You've got a franchise QB. You've got to start, putting guys in front of him that can keep him healthy. I also think with the new coach there in New York, that's where he's going to lean to. They just traded a big defensive lineman. I think they're okay with the D line and what they have on the defensive side of the defensive front at least. But now it's building that offensive line, I think, to keep Jackson Dart healthy and hopefully when Scadaboo comes back, give him the best opportunity to really succeed on the ground.
And I have to agree with you on that. Looking at again picking up those guys, Jackson Dart had a great rookie season. There's no doubt about it. With the things he was given, and even after Cam was gone, he kept him in games. Now you turn around and get to a point where he's not having to. Well, scrambling is part of his game. If he doesn't feel like he's doing it to save his life, I think Jackson Dart. I would have to say, other than Bo Nix, because I'm going to be a homer on that one. I love Jackson Dart's game. I really do. And he feels like he can get to a point where he can take command a little bit better and not feel like he's all over the place, being a little scattered. I think that team's got a high ceiling to go, especially with Jackson Dart there.
Coach Harbaugh would love this pick.
Yep.
Build from the trenches. The Ravens were good for a number of years because of the offensive line and the defensive line. So I think it's the right pick. Plus you're picking in 4 more spots. So now I'm excited to see what you're going to do there. All right. We've got pick number 6, another pit of misery. But are they on the up with Shedeur? I don't know about that. We'll see. Cleveland Browns. Bradyn, the GM of the Cleveland Browns.
Hate to be that position with that owner. So I actually had the Cardinals reaching really bad on Ty Simpson in the third on the third pick. in real life, they'd probably trade down and pick him if they were going to go quarterback. But I still think they'll go with Shador. I don't think they'll make hopefully a Cleveland's Brown mistake that they usually do and go in quarterback like that. I think they're going to go draft Carnell Tate from the University of Ohio State. Just really stacking up that wide receiver room, at least starting to. You still have Njoku. You still have a decent O-line and Quinson Judkins at the running back position. Hopefully he stays healthy. And then your defense is really stacked. So really shore up that wide receiver position right there, and then go into the next draft and go get an Arch Manning, go get a Moore. So that's the thought process I think they should go.
I love that pick. Carnell Tate. Look, the wide receiver room in Cleveland needs some work. They've got Jerry Jeudy and not a whole lot else, out there catching passes. So that, you kind of bring in a hometown guy, proximity wise, at least to school. I don't know where he's physically from. But so the fans are going to know him. They're going to obviously fall in love with him. They already like him. And he's a winner. He's going to bring a winning attitude from Ohio State. And the guy can ball too. So that's an added plus. I love that pick.
Staying in Ohio, you can't go wrong.
I mean, that's wide receiver university, it seems like.
It is.
For sure.
It's compelling with him and Jerry Jeudy on the same team.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, we're moving on to pick number 7. So we're back to Vince, the Washington Commanders. Eric, you want to take pick number 7 here?
Yeah, so on behalf of Vince, he has Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle out of Utah. He says Jaden Daniels is billed as their long-term superstar, and this is an investment toward keeping him on the field as much as possible and as long as possible. I see a little bit of a theme with, the young star quarterbacks, the young franchise quarterbacks. You got to have an offensive line in front of them to keep them upright. And, so far, if we're just kind of looking at how we're predicting things to play out, you've got 3 really, at the beginning of their career franchise quarterbacks, and now you're kind of seeing offensive line being built to protect them. I think that's the right move for the Commanders.
I love it. I think that's a good pick. That's a Dan Quinn pick to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Really, really strong. I like it. All right, pick number 8. I've got the Saints. They need a wide receiver badly. What they only have, Chris Olave. But they need so many different players. So let's see. I've got Jordan Tyson available. I've got Mekhi Lemon. I probably would have taken Tate if he was available. I like him the most of those 3 wide receivers. But I think they need so much help. And wide receiver, just like the unknowns of Tyler Shaw. Is that how you say his name? Shug?
Shuck. It's
Shuck?
the Shuckster. Yeah,
The Shuckster. The Shuckster. We don't know what that's going to be. And offense is probably going to be a mess for a little bit. So I'm going to take what I think is still the best available defensive player, Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami. You need to get after the quarterback. The dude's young. He's 21 years old. He flies. So if this actually happens for the Saints, I think they'd be incredibly happy that Ruben Bain fell to them. So that is my pick.
Yeah, I mean, selfishly as a Bronco fan, I'm glad he didn't go to Kansas City, because that's a guy I didn't want to see in our backfield year after year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
they
be
would've picked
terrible if he went to the Chiefs in real life. Let's hope that does not happen.
Yep.
For sure.
All right, pick number 9, the dreaded Chiefs.
Oh,
Coach Cobb playing the rival. Do
Yeah.
they resurge the year after the Broncos make it to the AFC Championship game? Is
I was gonna
Patrick
say,
back?
Yeah, as I'm sitting here, that's the worst part. As I'm sitting here looking at it, I'm thinking to myself, can I pick player number 250? Help the Broncos out. I would absolutely love to do that. In this particular case, however, based on what they've been looking at, some of the players that they've had problems with, guys that have let them down time after time after time, short of re-signing Tyreek Hill, that he could be out there. Guy I'd look at is Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. I'm gonna go wide receiver. Concepcion is getting a lot but it seems like he's fallen a little bit more back in the draft. I know Andy Reid absolutely loves speed. Tyson ran he's 6'2", 200 pounds, ran a 4.4 40. That's great speed to have. He's pretty rangy. He's got a lot of good body control, runs a lot of good routes, and I think for Patrick, especially with Kelsey getting older, not being that dependable guy, they need to start looking for ways to stretch the field a little bit and get those guys that are coming underneath, much like the Broncos use Cortland Sutton, things like that. And I think that's a guy that, especially out of Arizona State, they seem to throw some guys that are pretty strong out there, and I think Tyson's definitely a guy I'd give a look to.
Yeah, I don't think the Broncos fans would love that because now you've got
Right.
another threat for Patty Mahomes. But that would be a perfect pick for them. They're really going to have the pick of their litter. A couple wide receivers. They can go Kenyon Sadiq. They really want to. I don't really know if they want to go tight end. You've got
Sure.
Kelsey back, but one of those 3 wide receivers is probably going to be available to them. Jordan Tyson, scary.
Sadiq, I would have to say it would be an interesting pick, knowing that, Kelsey has to realize this is his last year. The guy barely had legs to stand on at the end of last season. I thought him and Taylor would just go off into the sunset and be done. And Sadiq, it could be certainly one I look at, but I think receiver with a couple of those guys, it hasn't been a dependable spot. They keep trying to use retreads, and I think that they finally need to go after somebody that's young. As much as I hate to say that, but hey, I'll let him go up against Surtain any day of the week, and we'll see how that all works out. So.
Yeah, they've been picking 30, 31st, 32nd every single year. And when you get that, back into the draft, you're not drafting, the best wide receivers available.
Yep.
So this makes a whole bunch of sense for them. So it's why they moved up with the trade with McDuffie. So 100%, this is the right pick for them. I do wish they would go and pick a 3rd string quarterback from UConn, but
Absolutely. We could trade him Mr. Relevant. That'd be okay. I think we have Mr.
I'd do it.
1 and 2 this year. So hey, I'd do that in a heartbeat for sure. So
I love it.
All right. No bias here whatsoever.
None.
And the Chiefs GM is fired the next day after the draft.
He was the next Brock Purdy, I swear.
Oh my. All right, Eric is back with his 2nd pick for the Giants. We're at pick 10. After this pick, I will post the first 10 picks in the comments so you can all see the madness that has already ensued. Nothing too surprising yet. A little bit of chaos, but we still got some good players. Eric, who are you going with?
All right, so trying to stay in that Harbaugh type of mind frame. You know, one thing that he loved, you talked about, he kind of builds from the inside out. Going to take a little bit different approach here, but we know that you know, he had Ed Reed, and I think by far and away the best safety on the board is out of Ohio State. It's Caleb Downs. I'm surprised he's lasted all the way through 10, to be quite honest with you. I think, you know, he coming out of high school, he was a top 10 player nationally, a 4-year starter, 5-star recruit, 4-year starter at Ohio State. You know, they play in big games just about every, you know, November, December, sometimes even January. So I think he is he's the guy. He's not going to see New York as too big of a stage, and he's going to come in and really solidify that defensive backfield where I know the Giants have had some struggles.
That's a great pick.
Super solid.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge. You lost your pass. You lost Dexter Lawrence. You still have a pass rush. Yet your defensive backfield isn't that great as a giant. It's the pick to make. I wouldn't be surprised if they go Kenyon Sadiq because Harbaugh loves to have 2 tight ends and not use them. But that's the pick. That's, you know, it's a Harbaugh move.
Sadiq was also he was the other guy who I kind of went back and forth on there. I think I could very easily see them going Sadiq at that point as well. So I think that's pretty spot on.
I mean, look at who Harbaugh's had in the backfield in Baltimore for years. Like incredible studs at the defensive back position. So if he can build that same approach, he's going to be doing just fine in New York. See, I mean, like you've got some arm talent in the NFC East, so you need to be able to defend against these big wide receivers. So I think that's a great pick. Great pick. All right, I apologize for the ridiculous formatting I've got in the comment, but there are our first 10 picks. Maybe we'll just do them in real time, so it's a little bit cleaner in the comments. But we are on to pick number 11, Miami Dolphins. Bradyn is taking us to South Beach.
All right. So what do you do when you pay your quarterback, who you hope is at least going to be a bridge for a few years, $60+ million, and then give away all your wide receivers where Malik Washington is your number one? What do? You draft a wide receiver. I don't care how bad the defense is. You gotta put a good product on the field and give your quarterback a chance to win. We are going with Mekhi Lemon from USC. Just
love it.
Really good route runner, but I mean, he's dependable. He's also just the best wide receiver on the board, and I think you just got to take that position with the best player there.
I think that is a great pick. And if you truly believe in the quarterback you're spending a good amount of money on, who played how many games last year and flashed a little bit, you need to give him targets. You need to give him all the weapons he can possibly have. So I think the Dolphins would be over the moon if they could get Mekhi Lemon at this pick in the draft on Thursday. Great pick. All right. Updating our draft tracker here. Our ghost pick for Vince in my hated team, the Dallas Cowboys. He has got his pick of the litter here, and he's going with Mansour Delane the cornerback from LSU. I think it's a good pick. Vince's rationale for this is that it allows them to fill the hole that they had from Diggs leaving, and Jerry Jones type of guy. So I think it's a good pick for them. LSU's had some pretty good backs over the past couple decades. Fills a need that the Cowboys got. I could also genuinely see them going after Sadiq. They're probably going to be pretty upset if they can't trade up and get Sonny Styles or another playmaker. So if they actually stand put, I think this is a pretty good pick for them. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like the pick. I could see the Cowboys messing it up, to be honest with you. That's typically their style.
With Jerry Jones sitting there in his chair looking so absolutely confident that that's the next guy, they would mess up the pick. I don't know.
Maybe they should hire Vince.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them just making a similar mistake in drafting an edge rusher who has off the field issues, but because he has some talent that they might think that he can be that guy, they would draft him instead of making the right pick when you've been struggling on corner the past 2 years, and when you've paid some of those corners a lot of money to be very average. So yeah,
that's a good pick. Yep. All right. I am now up. Pick 13. Picking for the Rams. This is to trade the pick they got from the Atlanta Falcons. I think the Rams are an interesting team. They're kind of aging, but they're still there year in and year out. I think Matt Stafford's probably got a couple good more years in him. And as I'm kind of looking at depth, like, okay, I probably want to protect him. But then I think about what is someone in a position that they really lost over the past couple of years. When they lost Aaron Donald to retirement, you could feel it. The dude was just an absolute beast, game wrecker. Did he win a couple MVPs in a row? I can't even remember. Maybe not in a row, but he won
he definitely won
one, and then maybe another one within like a 5-year span, something like that. So I'm thinking about I don't know if I'm gonna have a defensive tackle that's gonna be able to fill that, but I want to build on the line. So I think that I would probably go Jalen Walker from Georgia. So kind of edge linebacker. I think he'd fit in really, really well with the linebackers that they've got. You got Jared Verse, you got a couple other guys there, but I think he's a nice complement to Jared Verse. Developmental piece. I don't know if he'll start day one and have an impact, but probably starting by the end of the season. So I would take Jalen Walker for the Rams at pick 13. Any thoughts with that? If not, we can just move straight on to the good old Ravens. New coach and everything and all.
I mean, solid pick. Nothing much else to say. I
mean, we talked about it from a Broncos standpoint, right? You can just never have too many guys on the edge. And if you need to find a position where you could potentially build somebody into becoming, a game wrecker, I think that's a great place to look.
And the defensive backs are still pretty young, so you need to give them time what you really need to do is get after the quarterback so that you're not solely dependent on your defensive backs. Give them a chance to develop more. Give them a chance to be able to cover and have the quarterback off balance, make a bad throw, take a whole bunch of pressure off of your defense with a really good edge rusher.
It makes logical sense to me. All right, pick 14, the Baltimore Ravens. Coach Cobb, who do you have?
Baltimore Ravens. I am going to start rebuilding deep.
Oh, Coach Cobb, you went on mute. You're muted. Oh, no. Talk again.
All right. You guys hear me now?
We
Good.
got you back.
Pairing.
We're good? Okay. Sorry, I'm
Bluetooth
having some mic
connected.
issues. I'm not sure what's going on with that, so I apologize on that. Next guy I got, I'm going edge. I'm going with David Bailey from Texas Tech.
Oh.
6'3", 247, 4.58, 40. Led the NCAA with 14 and a half sacks. And I just think the guy's got a motor.
Stellar pick.
Perfect pick for Baltimore.
100%.
Oh, gosh. It's always Baltimore that make these stud picks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have a new defensive head coach coming in. It's what you want to do is solidify the position, your side of the ball, and that's a pick that really does solidify that, especially when you've had years of struggling to get after the quarterback, and then again, make the defensive backs haven't been super great with Murphy and Hamilton didn't have that great of a season, but they couldn't get after the quarterback last year. This is a perfect pick for them.
Right. Yep. And I agree. And he's just one of those guys that he's going to be that guy that's going to get that defense going, get after people, and make these offenses have to play him and have to take him into consideration.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, pick 15. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Eric's on the clock. We got Baker, who lost some targets, some weapons on the offensive side. I don't know. The Bucs always competing with the Panthers now. It's probably like the year in, year out battle we're going to see. Who are you going with?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. They lost some weapons. I'm not super familiar with the Bucs, personnel, but I do know that they just lost Mike Evans, who, the perennial 1,000-yard-a-year wide receiver. That's obviously creates a large hole or void to fill. So I think kind of in that same model, Mike Evans was a tall receiver. I think filling that with the KC Concepcion from Texas A&M makes a lot of sense. I could also see them looking at Sadiq there as well, but again, that was me maybe not knowing exactly what their tight end room looks like.
I like it. Did they re-sign Cade Otton? Or did he go somewhere else? I can't remember.
They did re-sign him.
Okay. But you still need a playmaker. So Sadiq would make a lot of sense. But you need a wide receiver too. So you're going KC Concepcion?
Yep.
Cool. I think that makes sense. It's a good pick. It's a good pick. All right. Pick 16.
Trash bin.
The Jets.
We got so originally I had the Jets taking Jordan Tyson and then either Jermon McCoy or Denzel Boston, but you just said Kenyon Sadiq, and I think the Jets are gonna jet. I think they're gonna I'm serious. I think if this is how it goes, I think they're taking Kenyon Sadiq. I think they go the star power. He's not that great of a pass catcher, but look at the physique. He's great. and I think they'll take him if he's available at 16.
what's so funny is there are certain teams where you can just say they draft based on solely how the guy looks.
Yeah.
Nothing else. And the Jets, I think, is the perfect fit for that. You're absolutely right.
They need cornerback because they just gave away the best cornerback but they go, well, Jeremiah McCoy might be the second best cornerback, but he's had ACL injuries. And they go fully on in the moment vibes. if he falls to 16, I think they just throw out their draft plan and go, we'll get a cornerback in the second round. We're going best player right now, and that's Kenyon Sadiq. And it's kind of it, he's not a guaranteed hit. So it's, but I think that's what they do.
I like it.
Jets going jet.
Jets
Yeah.
Jet.
All right, we got pick 17 is back to Vince with the Detroit Lions, team that I don't think many of us thought was really going to drop off as much as they did. Their windows still might be open. Who would like to read off Vince's pick here? 17. The guy he wanted is still available.
Yeah, I mean, I can take over because for that. So Vince decided to pick Keldrick Falk, edge rusher, Auburn. Detroit lost their complimentary piece to Hutchinson through free agency. So it's to fill a gap with a guy who could start the season rated higher on boards and therefore maybe get a bit of a steal at that position. That's what Vince had. And I think that's a solid pick. There might be I think he's the best edge rusher available at this point. And with the defense how it was last year, I mean, you could go offensive tackle because of how kind of subpar that O-line was. But I mean, I think that's a pretty solid pick considering that their defense wasn't very good either.
Yeah, and to pair him up against across from Hutchinson, I think that's a great move. That would only bolster their team, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I do think in real life they're going to look long and hard at that offensive tackle spot because they lost a couple pieces on their O-line due to retirement and free agency. So I like the pick. I just think that offensive tackle is a place where they're really going to look.
100%. And Vince could have also thought that maybe more offensive tackles go off the board because of how much they're needed. I mean, Broncos are going to be looking for potentially an offensive tackle in the second round. So they're kind of an offensive tackle, whether it's right tackle or left tackle, specifically left tackle, that's a much needed position. So that could have just been something that he kind of saw, but Still really good pick, good value piece right there as well.
Yep, I like it. All right, I've got pick 18 with the Minnesota Vikings. This is a fun one. They don't have a general manager, so I am just as qualified to make this pick as the other person in Minnesota right now. So I am all going to be schooling, and I am going to be going defense because I'm going to trust Brian Flores. I think he's got a vision for what he ultimately wants. They've had some stud safeties in the past, but they moved on from Harrison Smith. So I think they're going to go safety here. Dylan Thieneman from Oregon. I think the dude's got a good fit. He's been projected to Minnesota in 56% of mock drafts. Good tackler, pretty good range guy, but like literally is a comparison to Harrison Smith, and that's a gap that they've got. So going with him, he's a safe pick. And good luck to the Vikings without a general manager on Thursday.
Hey, let's just hope they make their pick. I remember a few years back when Minnesota missed the call, and the draft don't wait for nobody.
Well, they don't have many holes as far as roster construction goes. I mean, you can look at Kyler Murray one way, or maybe look at their running back room and say it's not great, but you don't have any quarterbacks or running backs that are valued to go this high. Your defense with that Brian Flores defense is probably where you lean into when trying to win games. And with, like you said, Harrison Smith going out, and it's definitely a solid replacement. So I think that's where he goes, if that,
Yeah, we'll see. Coach Cobb, pick 19, Carolina Panthers. Playoff team, Carolina Panthers. Oh, you're muted. Oh, you're still muted. Hopefully you can hear us. Got some mic issues going on tonight, Coach.
There we go. I think.
No.
No. It doesn't say muted, but it's still muted.
Yep.
All right, we're going real life draft. You've got 6 more minutes to go before we forfeit the pick.
I think they dropped it to 5.
The Steelers are waiting.
I think they dropped
Bryce
it to
Young
5
is like,
minutes.
What are you doing?
He's going to pull a Viking.
We will accept writing on a piece of paper and holding it in front of the camera.
Remember the COVID draft when this was basically all we were doing? Draft picks like in their basement, GMs making calls from their living room. So we had like Coach Vrabel's kids were doing weird stuff, but Belichick was just like at the table with his dog.
The dog was the greatest.
Yeah. I think Vrabel's son was like sitting on the toilet in the background. That was great. And then Roger Goodell by day 3 is just chilling. He has a drink in his hand and he's like, pick 235. Let's keep it rolling.
Was that not the draft also where was it the Atlanta GM's son who got in trouble for pranking somebody? Like as they got drafted, or
because he got the phone number,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, Coach Cobb's having technical difficulties. He's saying he's going online. I've looked at 1-0 line position at my top board. I'm going Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle from Georgia for the Carolina Panthers. Coach Cobb, hopefully that's who you wanted. Very exciting pick.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Excellent. See, we're on the same page, guys.
Oh my
god.
Right. All right. We are back to Eric. Cowboys' second pick 20.
Well, I think the Cowboys have been waiting for this pick. They've been licking their chops, and they're going to run to the podium to draft Jeremiah Love.
Man, I forgot about it.
I can't believe we let Jeremiah Love go to the Cowboys at pick 20.
Oh, no.
Incredible pick as a GM, Eric. Incredible. That's probably the pick of the night right there.
That tells you that probably won't happen. But because the Cowboys, there's no way Jeremiah Love falls into the Cowboys' lap at pick 20. If that happens, I'll be shocked.
Never say never. Who knows who's going to come out with a video of him, like smoking a bong or, like disrespecting a grandmother. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
No,
falling,
that's the
but,
perfect. That's the perfect pick for the Cowboys at that point.
Yeah, that's going to make them run faster to the podium.
Yeah, it's gonna make them trade up.
Eric, you just got GM of the year. Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Put up the graphic.
It's an award I've won a couple of times in fantasy, and I tell you, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. Drafts look really good on draft night. Come about week 13, not so much.
Oh boy. Oh my god.
But what a perfect pick.
Yeah.
How did we let him fall?
Pick 21. Pittsburgh Steelers. Bradyn, who you going with?
All right. So I think when Rodgers is still the quarterback as far as we know, he hasn't signed any deal, but whether or not you're letting Ohio State quarterback they drafted last year in the 6th round, or if you decide to get Nussmeier from LSU in later rounds, or if you do decide to bring Rodgers back with that chemistry involving Mike McCarthy, I think you go O-line, protect your really old or really young quarterback. I think they go Caden Proctor from Alabama, offensive tackle. That's where my head's at. It was him or Caleb Lamu. It was between those two. I am partial to Utah tackles, considering the Broncos have a great one. But I think Caden Proctor's the play here.
I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just the least sexy Pittsburgh Steeler pick, but it's what they need. They need an offensive line.
They tried to be sexy last year, and that, a punch later it blew up in their face.
Exactly.
Pick 22 is Vince. His ideal pick here, I'm going to botch the name, was who Jim selected, number 4 overall, Olavega Ione. So Vince would either go top-rated O-lineman, who I'd have to really go see who that is, or TJ Parker. The biggest notes from Vince here were literally draft any O-lineman. Their line is so bad. Then he put TJ Parker. This would be a good Harbaugh pick, but really, the pick should be O-line. Have I mentioned how bad they were in all caps? I completely agree. Completely agree with Vince. We're gonna go for TJ Parker due to timing here. Good pick, Harbaugh. Good pick. I've got the Eagles with pick 23. Obviously, they had to drop off. Did not have as much success in the postseason as they would have liked. So I am going safety. And the safety pick that I'm going is, hold on, I've got him on my list. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety from Toledo. Feels like an Eagles pick to me. Just like really strong safety play. Hopefully they need one. I don't know, but that's who they're going with.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the second, graded second or third best safety. They don't have a lot of holes, especially with that front D line. And as far they could shore up that O line, but considering just where these guys are graded at, what are you gonna pick? The second best safety or the 5th best offensive tackle?
You go safety, yeah. And it's probably the best player available at that, getting into this territory. It's kind of what you do. Pick 24. Coach Cobb is back up. We're still muted, so you might need to put it into the private chat, but you got the Cleveland Browns back on the clock. Oh, Ty Simpson.
Okay.
Chaos.
All right.
Chaos has ensued.
I like it.
I love the drama. You add more to the mix in the Cleveland quarterback room.
That is a Cleveland pick for sure.
Incredible.
That is 100% the owner saying, same as last year when draft this quarterback because we need the headlines.
Yeah, I mean, they do eventually have a quarterback that they pay like $250 million to coming back at some point, right? Like, I have to imagine he's going to come back and play at some point because they pay him all this money. But who knows? I guess we'll see what happens to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that just
Sign
for
me
the
up.
drama, I love it.
I only want Hard Knocks Cleveland Browns quarterback room next season. That's all I care about. I don't need to see a whole team. I don't need to see a whole division. I just want to see the quarterback room because we know that Coach Dion would be there, and then who else would happen? It would just be wild.
Yeah, you're right. Shador was making more at Colorado than the Browns last season. I like Shador. I think he's got some talent, but I think Ty Simpson's probably played some better players, and I bet he would be starting by the end of training camp if they didn't decide to shoehorn Deshaun Watson in and all his issues that come with him.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're gonna go fast here. I know we're coming up at the end of the podcast. Pick 25, Chicago Bears. Eric,
all right, the Bears need to go defense, so we're gonna get an edge rusher. The edge rusher from Miami, Akeem Medsador. I think Chicago needs help on the defense, and that's, when you think of Bears, you think of cold weather and you think of defense. They've got Caleb Williams. They got some weapons on the offensive side, so let's shore up that defense.
I like it.
Yeah.
That'd be a great pick for them.
All right.
Great pick. Bradyn with the Bills.
So I've got a few angles to go here. I could go wide receiver with Denzel Boston. He's pretty solid, but I think with the addition of DJ Moore, you still have Coleman, who's kind of hit or miss. You got Shakir. Yeah, you got I don't know how to pronounce it. Shakir, who's shiftier. He's a solid. I think your wide receiver room is pretty set for this year. So I'm thinking CJ Allen, linebacker from Georgia. They need help at that position. They could go Caleb Banks with Ed Oliver getting up there in age and with injury, but they don't have any edge rushers, or they're always hurt. Who knows if they end up keeping Joe, what's his name, who they got from the Chargers last year. Edge rusher.
Bosa?
Joey Bosa.
Joey Bosa. So I think that's where they go, is linebacker. That seems to be the position of need every single year for them.
Plus, you just add another Allen to the mix. I like it.
More Allens. Yeah, the Allen Bros. Pick 27 is to the 49ers. This was another Vince pick. He gets his guy, Nick Scorton, the edge from Texas A&M. Good pick. I think makes sense for a Shanahan team. Versatile defensive end. You've got the other Bosa, and who can't stay healthy. And so for Raheem Morris coming back there as the D coordinator, I think it's a good pick. Let me put all these down. I've got the 28th pick, Houston Texans. Let me look on my big board here. Probably go offensive line. I think that they're you just continue to build depth there. I would go Blake Miller from Clemson for the Texans. You got to protect what you've got. The offense, can be prolific at times. It's pops, but I think that where they really lacked in consistency was protection up front. So I'm going to go Blake Miller from Clemson. All right, we've got pick 29, back to Coach Cobb. We're going to break it in the chat. I can't wait. KC Chiefs again. He got both of the Chiefs picks.
Oh, what terrible luck.
Monroe Freeling was already selected.
Ooh.
Typical Chiefs move.
Yeah.
Trying to draft a guy that's already been picked. Probably should just go to the default backup tight end.
No, are the Chiefs gonna get Eli Stour?
That's kind of what I think. Yes.
Just
Blake Miller. Blake Miller is also off the board.
Oof.
I just took Blake Miller.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's you.
Rough day at the office for the Hunt family.
Yeah.
Jake Slaughter.
Jake's available.
I like it. Lineman from Florida. Nice.
That's what they need. Really, they do. Especially with how bad that offensive line was really last year. It wasn't good. And I think right tackle is out of the picture right now. So I actually had them taking an offensive lineman in their first pick because I thought protecting Mahomes would be something that would be a priority for them.
Should have been. All right, pick 30, the Broncos pick, traded to the Dolphins in the Waddle trade. Eric, who are you going with?
Well, I know earlier we took Mekhi Lemon. I think they're going to continue to build on the wide receivers, and they're going to pick Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana.
Oof. I like it. They need the depth. You lost. I mean, do they even have a wide receiver one? I don't think so. So you go Omar Cooper. I think that makes a lot of sense. Good pick. The Patriots, pick 31. Bradyn. Who is Bradyn going with?
Oh man, I in my heart of hearts, I want them to take Caleb Lamu and slide Will Campbell over to that guard position. But I think Jermod McCoy from Tennessee has fallen so much, and you pair him up with Gonzalez on the other side of the field, I think you go Jermod McCoy. He's just fallen so far, and he's such a bright spot that maybe you just say, we're at the end of the round. We're at the end of the second round. We can pick up an offensive tackle that we think can kind of fill that spot, who is just as good, and maybe we save some money on that.
It's the exact Bronco pick from last year when you feel like, yeah, exactly. The best player available. You're 100% right. McCoy has fallen way too far at this point. His value is through the roof at 31. I know he's had some injury issues, but like you said, you put him on the corner and pair him with Gonzalez, and you just basically make you tell people, okay, you're not going to throw the ball on either of our corners. And the Patriots are really good at, the development and coaching guys up. So I like that pick a lot.
Solid pick. All right, pick 32. So the last pick of the first round to the Super Bowl champs, Seattle Seahawks. Vince's guy is still available. It's Jeffrey Bossa, the linebacker from Oregon, who he views as a great scheme fit for Mike McDonald's defense. If I am Seahawks and I lost my running back and Jadarian Price is still here, which he should be, I would highly consider him to kind of fill that gap. That is just me, though. It'd be pretty enticing. But Oregon, you got a Pacific Northwest guy. Their defense is solid. You add depth there. I definitely see Vince's strategy. Would you guys go a different pick here if the board was falling here like this?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not because Seattle is such a solid defense, and maybe your offense needs a little extra something. So maybe you go wide receiver to pair up with JSN, the Emerald City route runner, or you could reach on a running back if because that's a big position of need, losing Walker and with the torn ACL of Charbonnet. So maybe you go running back, not because he's the best available, but because you just absolutely need one. You got no other choice than that at this point, but it's hard to argue that we have the number one defense in the NFL. Let's just make it better.
Yeah, I like the pick. It's a solid pick. I do think, though, you're staring at a running back at that position just due to the fact that you lost the guy who took you to and played extremely well in the Super Bowl.
And the MVP.
Exactly. Yeah. And Charbonnet, to Bradyn's point, Charbonnet is coming off of an ACL. So, again, it never hurts to add to a defense that's already really, really good. But, I think potentially filling holes where there are voids, that might be something they look at.
Yeah. I specifically think of Seattle's running scheme, how they've been, with Marshawn Lynch, with Walker. They're probably best running back on the cover of Madden 07. For the life of me, I can't remember his name. But
Sean
Alexander. Yes, thank you so much. I'm ashamed I forgot his name. But I look at Price and I just see another power running back that fits that kind of same system where you could go Coleman and he's a bit of a more balanced guy. Seattle's always been ground and pound with that running scheme.
Yep. Yeah, I think they're going to have to think long and hard about a running back at this position. Because it's a pretty big drop off. I don't know the other picks Seattle has throughout the draft, but if this really is the top, and then you get the next 2 or 3 levels below running back, you just take them. See where it goes. So I don't know. All right, guys, that wraps up our first official round 1 NFL mock draft. I don't know how we could ever do an entire 7-round mock draft, especially in a draft like this where the depth is already wonky. We would be pulling a lot from the AI gods to help us out here. But I had a blast. I hope you guys had fun too. We had some chaos. It was good.
Add a little chaos. I think, maybe we run to I forget the name of the game, but there's a game out there. We fill in our picks, and if we get a perfect draft, we can win $1 million and split it amongst the 4 or 5 of us.
I love it. Let's
That'd
submit
be
it.
great.
Let's see what happens.
There's a lot of trades.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trades that are projected to happen. So I don't know. You might have better odds of winning March Madness next year with all the trades that are being rumored to go.
If
this year.
Jeremiah Love falls to number 20 with the Cowboys and we somehow predicted that, Eric, I'm campaigning for you to take over the Cowboys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you the money to buy them.
I will take it. I'll take it.
I love it. Well, we are over. We appreciate everyone staying a little bit longer. This was a blast. Hope you enjoyed too. Remember to like. Hopefully, you saw all of our comments in there with everything going on. But feel free to comment on the next one. Subscribe if you haven't. Follow us on all the social channels. Tune into the draft this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we might do a little bit of a surprise and potentially do a live stream just covering the second night of the draft. That's a TBD right now, but we're all excited for what the Broncos potentially might do. If not, we will see you next Tuesday, where we'll do a full deep dive analysis into all of the Broncos picks. We'll see if they make any trades. We'll see if Aqib Talib's prediction of something splashy actually happens. And we'll see what other kind of drama ensues. We'll hopefully be talking about a lot of different trades in the first round, and we'll see who ends up with Sonny Styles, Jeremiah Love, and some of these other studs in the draft. So appreciate everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your night.
Thanks, guys.